Good afternoon. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. International skiers could make a big comeback this winter. Travel journal Skift says international tourism this year is already 33% ahead of last year. This does bode well for ski towns because global travelers tend to spend more and stay longer, nearly 3 weeks on average. But there is a caveat. Most international skiers are traveling solo or with just a spouse, unlike domestic visitors, which tend to bring entire families. For a second straight year, Summit County weathered the heat of summer with no major wildfires.
We've been lucky with relatively wet seasons. We had continuous moisture throughout the summer, right? Rain every handful of days.
That was firefighter Hannah Olson with Summit Fire and EMS.
That kept our fine fuels unavailable to fire and then also kept our heavier fuels wet and moist.
Summit Fire and others did respond to a handful of small local fires like the Pasture Fire on about 5 acres by Ute Pass and the Lily Pad Fire on less than 1 acre near Frisco. Both were in July.
Summit Fire and EMS and Red, White, and Blue Fire Protection District had engines out on fire assignments for most of the summer, everywhere from California to the southeast, helping other regions and other forests fight their fires.
Now, we're on to pile burning season. You can expect to see occasional smoke from prescribed burns in Summit and along the mountain corridor. A Denver judge is demanding that City of Denver reveal what was said internally from the night of a dangerous hailstorm at Red Rocks. The city, which oversees Red Rocks, has refused to give its text messages to a 9 News reporter and others. 9 News took them to court. That storm on June 21st sent 7 to the hospital and injured over 100 more. Down south, a judge is telling a billionaire landowner to stop building a fence around his property, which includes a private 14er, Calibra Peak. This from the Alamosa Citizen. Property owner William Harrison was ignoring letters from county officials, telling him the 8-foot fence violates county code. A judge stepped in, and now construction on that fence is halted. Last summer here in Summit, a private landowner at the Quandary Peak Trailhead was hit with a cease and desist for posting giant hand-painted signs accusing county commissioners of racketeering. Those signs also violated the county code for being too large and numerous. Today, we are in the classroom with Mrs. Carson Blumenreich.
We're actually right now learning about economics in kindergarten.
That's right. 5- and 6-year-olds in Mrs. Bloom's class are learning opportunity costs and benefits.
If we choose to bring a show and tell to school, the benefit is that it's really fun. We get to play with it, but the cost is that we might lose it.
Mrs. Bloom recently came to Breck L from Vail Mountain School, a private school. One of the biggest differences is standardized curriculum.
I think that I have grown as a teacher from focusing on those standards and really focusing my curriculum more on what the specific standards are, and it's not quite as broad.
Then there are international baccalaureate standards taught district-wide from elementary to high school.
Our social studies and science curriculums are taught through the lens of IB with student inquiry.
The standards might be different from private to public, but the heart of a kindergarten classroom is the same.
We really try to make learning fun because our biggest goal is for kindergartners to learn to love school and to learn to love learning.
Plus, economics. Tune in every week for In the Classroom with local educators. And in local sports, coming up this weekend's the state volleyball playoff tournament, where the Lady Tigers are ranked number 21. On Friday, Tigers football ends the season with Eagle Valley at home. On Saturday, Summit Girls Rugby is heading down to the state tournament in Denver, defending their title for a 16th consecutive season. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.